Once again, good afternoon, everyone. Our today's guest speaker is already with us. We will begin this session in 1 or 2 minutes. Please have patience. I I request Arun sir to please turn on his video. Now we will begin this session formally. Arun sir, please, if you are listening me. Okay, thank you, sir.
Hi.
Okay, so hello everyone. Good afternoon. So first of all, uh, happy International Mother Language Day. Uh, मातृभाषा दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं और अरुण सर फॉरगिव मी इफ आई एम नॉट pronounce it right in Tamil. Inniya sarvatesa tai molinal. So
Sorry, you should have done that in Telugu. That's my mother tongue.
okay, that's why, sir. We had
No,
prepared.
but you put so much effort. You put so much effort in drafting that in Tamil and speaking. I'm really proud of you. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, sir. So I would like to mention that a recorded version of this webinar interactive session will be available on YouTube as we are live on YouTube. So now, before beginning this session, I would like to mention some of the normal protocols that should be followed. So dear learners, if you have any question during session, please raise your hand or write it in the chat box. So for those who are joining now, once again, welcome. Now, I would like to invite Pratham, the introducer of today's session, to come and formally begin this session. Pratham, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. So, in every walk with nature, one receives far more than what she or he seeks for. Originally taken from John Muir, though virtually, but I have been experiencing this truth for past few days, and I assure you before beginning this session that for a couple of hours you will be experiencing the same in context to nature. I Pratham Raj, on behalf of Mann Vivechan, warmly welcome you all warmly welcome you all in the third series of the platform themed under Nature, Education, Life. The theme is inspired by the disharmony constituted both at habitat level and in spirit of individual. Like in our daily life, we can uh, have the example taken out from our daily life. Kindly mute if someone is unmuted. Okay, thank you. So we can have we can draw enough examples where focus of education is being shifted from living to surviving. We are fortunate that today we have Sri Arun Krishnamurthy with us, inaugurating this series, uh, uh, which we have met today to have a pondering session on learner in congruence to nature. We welcome you, sir. Sri Arun Krishnamurthy. Sri Arun Krishnamurthy is founder of Environmentalist Foundation of India, 2012 Rolex Laureate Award, TED speaker, but we know him because he chose to be an environmental conservationist he chose to serve people the way he wanted, and for people having glimpse of the life of environmental conservationists can say that the experience will be awe-striking, the experience can be amazing, but the task itself needs sheer devotion and passion, which Arun Krishnamurti sir has exemplified us with his work. So here I request host to kindly play the video which we have prepared as our enjoy that Arun, we are joining actually Arun Krishnamurti sir for the session. So host.
If I handed over a piece of paper and a pencil to all of you and asked you to draw a good environmental imagery, immediately all of us would put a cone which would represent a hill, a tree, a fine stream, and a V-shaped bird on the sky, and we all would cherish that picture forever. But is any of that in reality available for you and me is a larger question.
Arun Krishnamurti is the founder of the Environmentalist Foundation of India, a non-profit wildlife and habitat restoration group for lakes and ponds across the globe.
Tell us a little bit about your childhood memories, growing up in Chennai. What was it like?
Chennai fascinates me. Yes, I'll tell you why. I think she, as a city, has it in her to be the water capital of India. Growing up in such an environment taught me the importance of one thing, that we are not the superior species whatsoever. Just because you and I can talk loud and walk straight, it doesn't make us a superior species. We have to live in harmony with nature. That's what so many theories to prove that this planet and this planet's larger plan, and we're just a small tiny part of it. We live in such a human-centric world where everything and anything is about what bothers and matters to us. And what we want to conquer is our ego and nothing beyond that.
A former Google employee who quit his job to conserve the environment. While several individuals would weigh the pros and cons of such a major life decision, Krishnamurti's love for the planet goes beyond second thoughts.
If I handed over a piece of paper,
So thank you, host. So exploration and dedication are the two words that comprehensively define Arun Krishnamurti. Like who is Arun Krishnamurti? And I personally thank you, sir, for having us experience all sorts of river from your project of Hydrostan. Though I could not watch all, but I watched some of Ven Ganga, and then of Mithi River, and some dam that were built pre-colonial during colonial era and before it. So we have incorporated these two things, dedication and exploration, in our topic today, because as we say learner, we means one who that actively participate or actively engage with its natural surrounding. So learner in congruence to nature will address on need to have such learner who are in harmony to their natural self and also to their habitat. Meanwhile, tenets such as predicament of contemporary education, obviously in relation to nature, and new emerging threats that nature is facing or going to face are some of the other measures of this discussion. Therefore, dear listeners, I request you to actively take part in dialogical construction of knowledge to interact in our interactive session. Meanwhile, I also request you to keep your observation and question succinct and use the chat box. So, concluding, I now welcome Arun Krishnamurthy sir to provide us a audible tangibility to his ideas. So the platform is yours, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratamji, and thanks to the organizers, the gentleman who first spoke, who put such an effort, sincere effort to draft those lines in Tamil and to give it a try. I'm truly proud of all these efforts that young people such as each of you is putting in. I'm excited to be part of this larger platform. Please do pardon me that I'm on the move and I'm trying to be part of this conversation because we are in field work in South Tamil Nadu, where we've just revived a bunch of lakes and we're starting 2 new projects. So this is the passion that each of you have that I share, and that's exactly what my story today is going to be. I was a small town boy who had very limited exposure. Other than family and my neighborhood, there was very limited exposure that I had. And to me, my world began and ended at home with the 2 lakes close by, the pond, the trees, the birds, the snakes, the frogs. That's all that I thought mattered in the world. But later, when for educational purposes you move out, is when you see so much. You see so much, you learn so much. That is when you understand that as human beings, we are so irresponsible with our day-to-day behavior, especially towards natural resources, other life forms, and more. To each of you who's part of the call today, if I asked you, do you want to see India's elephants die? All of you would immediately say no. And if I asked you, do you want to see India's tigers being poached? You'll say no, we have to protect our tigers. If I ask you, should our rivers be clean? All of you would say yes. If I asked you, should there be more trees that we plant and nurture and see them grow? You would say yes. But then if I asked you the next question, how many of you are participating in such efforts? Not all of us can be out in the jungle helping our forest department to protect tigers and elephants. I know the limitation. Not all of us can go start cleaning rivers, lakes, and ponds. But what about our daily lives? About the non-degradable trash that we are generating in our daily lives? These are questions that I have for the young, smart minds in each of you. Are we sincerely concerned about the air quality, about water contamination, about the chemical loaded food that we eat, and about animals, mainly wild animals, or even in the urban context, the urban wild, ranging from reptiles to birds to stray cattle to canines and felines? There are so many of you who are multi-talented, who at the tap of a button have information, end of your palm, on almost everything about from US elections to Australian wildfire to almost every bit of things that are happening in the world. You're all aware of it. Such young, smart people, what is the action that you're taking towards the planet conservation is the question I want to trigger. And it was so rightly said about exploration. The exploration that we are talking about is how are we on the path to explore in our daily lives? Because we are all so stuck. We're so stuck with nomenclature. We're so stuck with what the general public thinks about our life. And we are so stuck about conventional methods, things that have already been done, which we are redoing. How many of us are ready to undo that and start fresh and do something on our own? That is where I have a story to share with you. This is the story of Bangara Doddi from Mysore on the banks of the Kaveri River. The Kaveri River Kaveri is a phenomenal river here in South India, originates in Karnataka and almost feeds large portions of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and has her water impact on Kerala and Andhra Pradesh and Pondicherry to a certain degree, where water is drawn and more. When you look at Kaveri, it looks like just another river. But when you go deep further within, you will understand how the Kaveri has so many human sacrifice stories. And one such a story is that of Bangaradoddi. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of years ago. The Wadayar kings used to rule the region now called Mysore. And the Kaveri River did not have dam structures, did not have such protrusions on it, that the river was a free flowing natural wonder. Once the Wadayar king was out on hunting practice and he was on the banks of River Kaveri, dense jungle, and in the close to the grasslands next to the river, he saw a beautiful woman collecting firewood. And the king was astounded by her beauty. He had ill thoughts. He wanted to abduct the woman, take her to his palace for his ways. And his men did that too. They abducted the woman, they brought her to the palace. But the woman was a brave, strong young lady who did not budge for the king's pressure. The king was taken aback. He was shocked because the king thought, out of fear, out of out of respect for the king, the lady would accept to his request. But no, she didn't. She stood ground. She was a bold, strong lady. And the king, as surprised, shocked, and pleased that there are such strong people in his kingdom, apologized to the lady. And he asked her, what is it that you want? I'm really sorry that I tried to misbehave with you, and I want to make way for it. Please tell me, what is it that you want? Is it jewelry? Is it money? Do you want land? She immediately stopped the king. She said, what do I do with jewelry, money, and all that? Do you know that there is a parcel of land in your kingdom where there is acute water shortage? There is no water for people, and you're sitting in this fancy palace. And do you know that the Kaveri almost is running to full spate? But despite the river carrying so much water, just a few miles away from the river, we don't have water. The king said, what do you want me to do? She said, I want you to cut a canal. Can you cut a canal from the river to my village and bring water from the river to my village? The king was again shocked. He's like, first, I try to show my power on you, you resist. Next, I try to entice you with money, jewelry, land, you don't fall for it. And third, you're being so selfless and you're asking for something which nobody has ever asked me. And you're so bold in asking that. At least for all these three factors, I will cut the canal. And he did start work with men to drain a canal from the Kaveri in the upper reaches of the village of Bangaradoddi. And to our fascination, that canal exists even today. Even today, that canal brings water from the Kaveri River to these dry regions of close to Mysore region, and it feeds those villages with that water. This is exactly what India is made of. There is a story such as this for the stepwells of Rajasthan, Gujarat, along the Aravalis, especially the Musi Rani Sagar in Alwar, or the hundreds and hundreds of stepwells of the western part of the country. Or when you talk about the home dug wells of West Bengal, Odisha, Jharkhand, such beautiful water stories that we have to explore. When you come to the south of the country, the temple tanks or the cultural water bodies which dominate the land here, which tell us as to how our forefathers, our ancestors were explorers. Explorers who did not think about invasion, explorers who did not think about ruining other cultures, but explorers who were largely thinking about their own piece of land on how to innovate and come up with techniques and technology of that point in time. That is what makes India a phenomenal water story. And these explorers are the ones that we need to focus on. And these are the ones whom we need to learn from. There is a lake, a pond, a river, or at least a stream, a nala, close to your house. If not close to your house, somewhere in your city, in your town. When was the last time you thought about the history of that water body? When was the last time you wanted to do something to protect that water body? Not all of us have to protest, agitate. No, a lot of good work can be done through collaboration, through positive collaboration. The democracy in India is such a good platform. We have where common citizens like you and me can participate in real-time result-oriented action. And that is what we at EFI are doing. From Chhattisgarh to Gujarat, Haryana to Tamil Nadu, across the country, we work in 14 states. And how is that possible? I'm a Telugu speaking boy from Tamil Nadu. And for all the cultural reasons, every state could have said, no, we don't want you to come and work here. No state did that. Whether it's Karnataka, whether it's Meghalaya, whether it's Chhattisgarh, it's the same. You know what I often get asked? People ask me, Are Arun, you and EFI work in 15 states. Tell me which state is good, which state is bad, which state treats environment better. I tell them, no, every state treats her water bodies the same way. It's not language, it's not culture, it's not food, it's not religion which binds us together as one country. It is our ability to abuse water bodies which binds us together as one country. From the Dal Lake in Srinagar, which we worked on to clean, to the last portions of water bodies in Bhuj, to Kanyakumari, Trivandrum, wherever you go in this country, our water bodies today are being dumped with solid waste, non-degradable trash, liquid waste. Open sewage is flowing into our lakes, ponds, and rivers. We're dumping construction debris, birds, snakes, frogs, crabs, all these life forms are losing habitats. We don't have fresh drinking water sources. Temperature regulation is getting altered. Our cities are getting flooded. One solution for all of these problems is our participation. If we participate, we can change the face of the water body. That is where, again, I wish to stress all of us cannot become heroes. That is not the aim of this entire thing. Cause is our hero, planet is the hero. And part of this collaboration, you, me, our government, our industries, all of us need to positively work together to ensure that we protect our water bodies. There has to be science in it. It can't be just emotional, where all of us jump into it and start cleaning. No, we have to know about the soil, we have to know about the water, we have to know about the life forms, we have to know how to do it. And then we'll have to start looking at ways and means to sustain the effort. Is it enough if we clean and restore the water body and leave it to go back to being dirty? No, we have to protect it for a lifetime. These are my key takeaways, points which I want each of you to think, and then come back and tell me how you and I are going to work together. The reason why I accepted to be part of this session, to be with each of you this Sunday afternoon, is because I'm looking for young, smart people in each of you who can support and strengthen this cause of reviving India's water bodies. Right? There is a photographer in you, there is a filmmaker in you, there is a scientist in you, there is a good Hindi poet in you, there is somebody in you who can do something for India's environment. Those are the people we are looking for, and how we can work together for India's environment. Psychologically, any given crowd gets divided into three portions: 1, 9, and 90, where 1 is the percentage of the crowd which has the ability to think on its own. 9 is the percentage of the crowd which can process any information that's given to it. 90 is the percentage of the crowd which will innocently, ignorantly believe in anything and everything that is being shared with them. It's very easy to misguide them. Unfortunately, that's what's happening in a large section in our society today. As young individuals, as nation builders who believe in India, we need to come together to drive home the message that we have to positively work towards social building of natural habitats and protecting them. I'm looking for the 1 and the 9 in each of you. I belong to the 90. And I really hope that I get to work and volunteer for India's environment with each of you. Do get back to us as a group, as an individual. Let us know how you think we all can join hands and work together to protect these water bodies. I'm truly grateful for this opportunity, and I look forward to meeting you all sometime soon. And we're working, as I told you, across the country. If one of the cities where we're working or one of the villages where we're working is close to your place, do drop by. I'll be really happy to show you the lake restoration efforts that we put in, the science behind the G-shaped islands that we make, the C-shaped islands that we make, the two-step bunds that we make, what kind of plants we do or plantations we do, and all of this. And I would really be excited to meet with each of you. I apologize that I am not speaking in Hindi or any of the other languages that you speak today. I chose English because it would reach all of you at once. And next time, if the language choice is given, I would definitely prepare. And the inspiration for that would be the gentleman who first spoke, who put in an effort to start in Tamil. And thank you. I look forward to each of your actions on field, volunteer for India and her environment. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Now we may look into interactive session if we have time, sir.
Yes, yes, I'm open to it. Can that be done in 10 minutes?
Sir, kindly provide us 20 minutes because we have people, so it will be
So
helpful.
I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy on detail because we're out in the field. That's why. Yes.
Yes, sir. I understand. However, we will manage in 10 minutes. Uh, so, first of all, taking the question from listener, we have one hand raised of Subhangi ji. So, I request host to kindly unmute her.
Hello. So, am I
Yes.
audible
Hello.
to you?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, thank you, sir, for your time. And we are extremely grateful for your time here with us. Actually, sir, I, as a learner or as a person, I'm very much fond of nature and I'm very much sensitive towards environment. And actually, sir, in my childhood, growing up, I wanted like a kind of a magic wand to clean all the roadsides and lakes and all that. And growing up, I realized that, sir, how important is it? It is for us to act, to participate in preservation of the environment. But lately, I found that there is no way for me to participate in preserving our environment. So the question of how can I do that was a major problem. But lately, sir, I founded a way to battle plastic pollution. I was really um, hurt by how people throw plastic anywhere they want to. So I found an extremely good idea that I make a eco brick, sir, in which I put all the plastics. Actually, sir, in my house, I have adopted a zero waste policy in which the plastic of as I have reduced the use of plastic, and those plastics are put into a bottle, and we make eco bricks of them. And paper is recycled, and all the kitchen waste are being dumped in the ground. So there is a zero waste policy in our house because of me. So I, as a person, want to enhance this idea for our community and for my colony. But when I moved to work towards this in our colony, so people ridiculed me. Why are you doing this? So as you told about positive collaboration, so I wanted to ask, how can I start to do this? Actually, sir, this was my question.
That's a beautiful question. Yes. See, my only request to you is don't think about what others want, because they all of them want us to be that movie star or that cricketer. Only then they will listen to us. But you and I don't have to be the movie star or the cricketer, because we are not doing it for others' sake. We're doing this for our own sake. Even if your family, right, your mother, father, brother, sister, they don't listen to you, I think you should just focus on what you want to do with your waste, and then keep doing that. One day or the other, it will magically bring people together. They may not be in thousands, they may not be in lakhs, they may only be in a few tens or a hundreds, but that few 10 or the 100 is the 1 and the 9 I spoke about. For me especially, if you see, I don't have a crowd with me, but I have a handful of genuine people who can make the difference. Names such as Sanjay, Sri Krishna, Anand, Chandini, some wonderful people I work with. And none of us are connected. We somehow got linked because of our passion towards nature. That's my simple message to you. Don't worry about who is with you, just think about what you can do, and the spiritual powers will bring the right set of people to you.
Uh, Thank you, sir. Moving ahead, we had a question. of Tanjeha Fatma, and my question also matched a bit with her, where she's asking that if we have such beautiful water stories that lead us to connecting to water body and not understanding it as a water body or just as a river, but as a life form or a place where life flourishes. Why is education unable to perform it, or why environmental education has become a paper just for facial
Understood.
value? Yes,
I
sir.
understood. See, all of you, what, 20, the maximum you'll be 25, yeah, or even younger than that. I don't know. Uh, don't worry about why this is not like that. Why is education system not proper? Why they are not right? Why this person is wrong? Just focus on what we can do. See, you and I can't change the education system in this country, but can we focus on what we want to learn? Nobody taught me about Van Ganga. Nobody taught me about the different water bodies. Um, my mentor once told me that, see, listen, don't keep looking for the negative in something. Start going out. If you want to learn, go learn. Who's stopping you? And I tried doing that, and it's done wonders to me. So if you can come up with nature based lessons today, with internet, with all the mobile platforms that we have, you can become the educator. You don't need a school, you don't need a classroom. So let's focus our energy on such things, right? You have such a wonderful group where you're all culturally connected, where you're all explorers. So with your group and EFI together, let's aim at educating at least 10 people. Before educating those 10 people, let's ask a question: what do we know to educate them? So let's educate ourselves first, where let's choose one particular water body. Let's do a complete study on that water body for at least 30 days with patience until we learn everything. And then let's educate 10 others about that particular water body. And that's how I think we should go about it. To anybody who has a question going forward, right? Sir, why didn't this political party do this? Why are our politicians bad? Why are our movie stars like this? Why is this not happening? Why is that not happening? If I had the answer to all of that, I wouldn't be here. I also don't care about any of that. I'm largely looking at what can you and I do. So if you have a question which says, look, I'm from Ranchi, and 16 kilometers from Ranchi is this water body, and I want to know, when can I call you to start working on that water body? That is a question I want to answer.
So definitely, I believe ki our one of our participant, I think, is Abhishek with us. He raised the hand. Okay. So, but I have a question, sir. That is a bit of because I really love the session done on hydrostan. So, what were your experience doing hydrostan, and what motivated you to have second session on hydrostan? At least this,
So
please answer.
yeah, sure. See, I get to travel a lot. Right now, I'm speaking to you from one of the stations in Tuticorin, which is southeast Tamil Nadu. So I travel a lot. Next week we're in Maharashtra, then in Gujarat, then Madhya Pradesh. So when you travel a lot, as each of you know, you get to meet some wonderful people. You get to eat local food. You get to learn so much, right? And that is why we started Hydrostan, and that's why we continue to do Hydrostan. And that learning keeps us modest. Sometimes we think we all know everything and then we are bigger than everybody else. But this travel to learn about each of our ancestral cultural stories, it actually does motivate, and it gives us the lesson that we have so much more to do, and that we have to stay rooted and we have to stay focused. So that is why Hydrostan continues, and for my entire lifetime, I think we'll continue doing it.
Thank you, sir. Any more question which is not starting from why? Sir can answer it or observation. So, having the time crunch, I would like to invite our faculty member, Professor Manish sir, uh, for a short observation on this session. So, Manish sir, are you with us?
Okay. Uh, Vandanagalu sir, and
Namaste, namaste, sir.
on behalf of School of Education and Central University South Bihar Gaya, I welcome you in this session, and I congratulate the whole team of Mann Vivechan to host this kind of session for better awareness in entire state, because you know that the where we are situated, our university in Gaya, here is crunch of water, and the water sources are not so good. If you read the history of the Gaya, you come to know that here is a Fagun river, which is dry in most of the time in a year. So, but we are pleased to inform you, we are pleased to share with you that our university in Central to South Bihar uh, try to conserve the each drop of water which we have used in our campus. No single drop of water we are wasted or go out of the campus. We have recycling plant, we use them, we use that water in our plantations and greenery process. So I am very much influenced by your work. When Pratham told me to come in these sessions, I read about that about you, and you are a graduate from IMC, and you can choose what you want to do in any field, but you opted to serve the humanity in this way. This is very inspirational for us. uh, I generally told my student that your option is always ready. If you want to do something, you can, but you have to take a risk, and you have to do the things which for the betterment of your society. So from all your dates, from your lectures, we are very motivated for doing the things, and I know that the German Vivichan and all the team and the student of our university are also work for that holy cause, to serve every drop of water. So I am very thankful to you to give the valuable time to us. Thanks a lot, sir. I know this is crunch
Thank
of
you, sir.
time to you also. You have to do the
No,
lot
no,
of
no.
work.
This is equally important. This is equally important, and I enjoyed being here. You please don't take this to be disrespect that I'm doing this from the field.
No,
I really respect each of you.
no, the people, we are always happy because in my department we have the internship with the schools. So I know that the what is the importance of the field work. So it is very good, and it is very appreciable that you are justifying the both the things to give the awareness. Yeah, yeah, to you aware Allah of us, and you are doing your work also. So it is very remarkable, sir. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, sir. Kind of you. Thank you, sir.
So, I am grateful to Manish sir and as well Arun sir for having set a vision for us to work, and also to look forward to work into, and not for going very much into why of the system. And when we approached Arun sir, he was actually at that time also doing busy in his field work. We are really grateful that even a short span of time you took out of your busy schedule, and uh, due to time crunch, but we had a beautiful session in a brief time. So thank you, sir. Thank you for being
Thank you, Pratham. Thank you, Pratham. Thanks for the invite. Is it okay if I ask the name of the person who started the session?
Definitely, sir. His name is Rahul. He is
Rahul. So
currently pursuing integrated BA B.Ed course in session 2018-22 in Central University of South India.
thanks, Rahul. Thanks, Pratham ji, and thanks, Manish ji, and to all those who participated, who asked questions. I'm grateful that you gave me this platform. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And we will surely volunteer, collaborate with EFI sometime in future. So, thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Jai Hind.
Okay, thank you, Pratham. Thank you, sir. And with this, we would like to end this meeting, and we look forward for the next session. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Manish sir. Thank you, Swati ma'am.